In the summer of 1955, a hardware store owner in Greenfield, Ohio, unlocked his front door at 7:45 in the morning. He didn't look for a security camera or check the street. He simply turned the key, pushed the door open, and flipped the sign from closed to open. Within 4 minutes, 3 people walked in. None of them came to buy anything. One asked about the Hendersons on Maple Street. One left a message for a man who visited every Tuesday. One needed the telephone because theirs was out. He helped all 3, sold some nails to a 4th customer, and waved at 11 people through the window before 9 o'clock. He knew every single one of them by name. In 1955, that wasn't remarkable. That was just Tuesday morning on Main Street. It provided a profound human experience that most Americans today cannot quite name. The feeling of being completely known in the place where you live. That feeling did not disappear by accident. It was replaced piece by piece, convenience by convenience, until the hardware store closed, the owner retired, and nobody replaced either of them. The street that had been the social center of everything became a place you drove through on the way to somewhere else. This is not simple nostalgia. The evidence is too precise and too current. 46% of Americans report sometimes or always feeling alone, a figure rising annually for 2 decades, according to the American Psychological Association. The U.S. Surgeon General's landmark advisory found that social isolation carries health risks equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Since 1974, the number of Americans with no close friends has quadrupled. Nearly 1 in 5 say they have no one to call in a genuine emergency. We are the most connected nation in history by every technological measure, yet we are the loneliest population ever recorded. The reasons go back further than most people want to look. The 1950s American small town was a functioning social organism operating through mechanisms embedded in daily life. Main Street was not primarily a commercial district. It was social infrastructure. It was where the information holding the town together was generated, exchanged, and maintained through the simple act of people going about their business in the same place at the same times. When those shared spaces disappeared across the 60s, 70s, and 80s, that collective intelligence went with them. This breakdown happened through the redirection of commerce to places where this social byproduct wasn't produced. First came the roads. In 1956, President Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, creating the interstate highway system. It was a triumph of engineering, but a devastating social accident. The interstates moved goods efficiently, but bypassed small towns entirely. Before the highway, a traveler from Columbus to Cincinnati passed through every small town between them, stopping for gas, eating at the diner, buying from the hardware store. After the highway opened, travelers bypassed them at 70 miles per hour, 60 miles to the east. The towns dependent on passing trade declined rapidly. Storefronts emptied, and the social operating system lost its vital transaction volume. Next came the suburban shift. The first enclosed shopping mall opened in Minnesota in 1956. By 1980, the mall had become the primary commercial destination for suburban and small-town families. The mall did everything Main Street did commercially, but nothing socially. It was engineered for individual consumption. Merchants didn't know customers by name, and transactions generated no communal information. Employees worked for national chains with no stake in the local neighborhood. The community continued to spend money, but it stopped generating the relationships that made it a community. Simultaneously, the home itself changed. Before television, the small-town evening was a social event. People sat on front porches, walked to neighbors' homes, or attended events at the church hall or community center. Evening was when the day's social information was processed and relationships were maintained. Television ended this. By 1965, the average American watched 5 hours of television per day. The front porch emptied, diner trade fell, and community lodge memberships plummeted. The social evening was redirected into private households, producing entertainment for individuals rather than connection for communities. Then came the final force that completed the liquidation of the old network. It arrived wearing the face of progress, the big box superstore. Walmart arrived in small-town America in the 1970s and 90s. Peer-reviewed research across rural America shows a devastatingly consistent pattern. When a big box giant opened within commuting distance, local Main Street commercial districts declined by 30 to 40% within 5 years. The local hardware stores, clothing shops, and pharmacies closed. The superstore that replaced them was highly efficient and affordable, but socially inert. It employed local residents, but did not know the town. Its transactions generated no communal intelligence. It didn't destroy Main Street out of malice. It destroyed it out of efficiency. We must be honest. The 1950s small town was not equally safe or welcoming for everyone. For Black Americans living under segregation, the safety of the small town was conditional at best and absent at worst. The social network of Main Street was often exclusive, withholding its warmth from its most vulnerable members. The injustices of that era absolutely needed to change, but the social infrastructure didn't need to be destroyed in the process. Both truths can coexist. You know the feeling this video describes, even if you've never lived in a small town. You felt it in a grandparent's neighborhood or a community you passed through where the person behind the counter knew your name. That feeling of being embedded in a place that notices your presence and would care about your absence is one of the deepest human needs. We didn't lose it through carelessness. We traded it for convenience, efficiency, and the freedom to buy anything at any hour without needing to know anyone's name. The trade seemed reasonable at each individual step, but the cumulative cost is a public epidemic. You cannot bring back the Main Street of 1955, but you can do 3 things this week that the hardware store owner in Greenfield did automatically. First, visit one local business, a diner, a coffee shop, an independent store, and go back again next week. Don't do it for loyalty points. Do it to become a regular. someone whose name gets learned and their order is remembered. That is where the network restarts. Second, find out one thing about a neighbor this week, not through social media, but in person. Learn something specific about their life that you didn't know before. And third, when something goes wrong for someone near you, move towards it rather than away from it. Don't wait to be asked. These 3 things are the Greenfield Hardware Store's Tuesday morning in miniature. They won't instantly rebuild the small town, but they rebuild what the small town was made of. Somewhere in America tonight, a version of Main Street is still holding on. The post office is open, the barber knows the locals, and the woman at the coffee counter remembers how you take it. In those few remaining places where the social operating system still functions, people still feel the quiet security of a network that won't let them disappear without someone coming to find out why. That feeling wasn't a product of an era, it was a product of infrastructure. And infrastructure can be rebuilt, one regular customer at a time, one learned name at a time, one moved towards neighbor at a time. The hardware store owner knew that. He just called it Tuesday. If this video gave you something to bring to your community, share it with someone who lives there. And come back next week. Echo of Yesterday has more to find.